Hello, everybody, and welcome back to, well, that sucks. We begin with number 19. My girlfriend just finished making her birthday I believe it's tiramisu with an I cake. That is most unfortunate. I'm a big fan of tiramisu. I might still scoop some of that off the floor that hasn't come in contact with the floor, or maybe you mopped it recently. You're like, you know what? Let's just have it off the floor. You know, you can both sit down on either side of it and just scoop it up. Munchy crunchy, you know, maybe embrace the whole thing. Put some scoops of ice cream on the floor. Hope that it doesn't like stain or soak into the wood if you let it sit there for too long. And it does look like the color is a little bit strange, but maybe they added some stuff into the recipe to uniqueify it. Maybe he's got some special additive flavor requests. I don't know. It doesn't look like the standard tiramisu color that I'm used to, but at least your floor does look fairly clean. So, yeah, Ozzy Osbourne dies weeks after farewell show. I feel like, and I read other people commenting the same sort of thing. You can live for something. It might honestly not even be coincidental, right? Like he was probably actually living in order to play his farewell show, and after that, it was like, you know, that the thing was done, and it, yeah. So I don't know what else to say, but I mean, I think that's cool that he was able to do his farewell show prior to dying. I think it would have sucked more if he had to cancel it or he wasn't able to do the show, you know. So, anywho, but I've heard of that happening with other people. Like, oftentimes it'll be that someone's, you know, longtime husband, wife dies, and then like really shortly after, then they die. And because, you know, they just don't really have something to live for anymore. So anyway, at least in this case, it seemed like it was a cool thing to strive for. Ever heard of proper range etiquette? Nope. Wait, was she? What was she doing? Oh, just like, let me just look as I pull the trigger. Did she just shoot the roof? I don't know if there's any audio here, but I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory that you're not supposed to shoot at the roof inside of the rain. Oh, sorry. Guys, I forgot. I'm supposed to full screen. I will do full screen. Oh, he's like, what are you doing? Oh, you want to see that again? Why did she do that? I wish to inspect the range of motion on the trigger. I will say, I've only been to a firing range like twice, and it is nerve-wracking the first time, especially if it is like a higher caliber weapon. It's always nerve-wracking doing the first trigger squeeze because you're like anticipating the recoil. I know for anyone out there who's like a big gun enthusiast, you go all the time, you're like, look at this noob. But it's like, you know, you're apprehensive. You're like, and then it goes and you're like, oh, it's fine. And you keep going. But like, I've never felt inclined to be like, boop, and fire at the roof. This guy's reaction. He's like, oh, I'm not going to be welcome here anymore. I don't like shooting guns. They hurt my hands. Dude, when I went to firing range, it had to have been like years and years ago, but one in Las Vegas where they had like big old machine guns, for lack of a better term. It didn't really feel like it in the moment. Like I wasn't in pain firing the thing, but the next day I've got a big old bruise on my shoulder from the recoil hitting it. So I was like, what the heck, man? No short sleeves with this tattoo. YouTube, it's an X-Wing, okay? It's an X-Wing, not an XXX-Wing. It's just an X-Wing, okay? YouTube, do not interpret this as anything else. I'm going to be honest with you, man, though. I think you could get this refinished and have it significantly improved. I mean, you know, not to say anything negative about the artist or anything like that, but I do think that if this was a problem and you were dissatisfied, it's like, it's an outline, but it can be improved. So, you know, just throwing it out there. If you love it, other than the triple X-Wing, then it's fine, you know, personal choice. But anywho, at a wedding ceremony. Is it like raining or something? Do we have to listen? No, it's going to be copy strike. Oh. Sorry, I had to full screen. Bro, that is on video in their wedding ceremony, framed in the camera forever. I don't know. Do you get annoyed with that? Or do you think this is a hilarious thing just to have, like, permanently as part of our wedding footage forever? Also, how utterly mortifying. Okay, but at the same time, never in my life have I ever been in a situation where I could not feel my pants about to fall off. Like, the only scenario where I feel like this could surprise you is if you were doing something super athletic. You were doing, like, I don't know, the hurdles or something, and all of a sudden, you know, the pants just come off. But standing still, there's no way I ever would not have felt this starting and been like, you know, maybe I need to hold the pants up. It's just, I don't know how the pants spontaneously combust and fall down, but anyway, I guess it happens. I guess it happens. Just got locked inside my storage facility. Access unavailable. Site is closed. How do you get locked inside? If it says site is closed, wouldn't that generally be the thing that prevents you from getting into the site and not the thing that prevents you from getting out of the site? Feels like weird design. Usually you want to allow people who might have accidentally spent after hours and, like, it's closed, get out from the thing. Can't use the keypad to get out. Maybe he doesn't have that security clearance or something like that. Maybe this is a highly secure site. This is a storage facility that stores nuclear waste. He didn't elaborate on what kind of storage facility, so I'm going to assume it's not just his public storage where he's storing his extra furniture. So, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest, though. If you worked at, like, a place that stored nuclear waste, then I guess trapping anyone inside also might be, like, you would want to do that. Because anyone breaking into a nuclear waste storage facility, maybe we want to just keep them in so that they can be apprehended. But I got no idea. It seems like weird design if it's not something that stores highly, highly sensitive stuff. Felt something weird in my ear, flushed it out, and saw this guy. Poor guy. This would make Kara very sad. She'd be like, he deserved... I don't even know where he is in the... There he is. Would you like a close-up of Mr. Spider? There's the close-up of Mr. Spider. Kara would be like, I can't believe that you killed him. He had so much to live for. He was so cute. And you flushed him out and you drowned him. He didn't deserve that at all. Honestly, I am incredibly surprised. After 15 years, I have not put on one of my Logitech G Astro headsets, code Kevin Sparkles, hashtag sponsor, and had a spider in one of the ear cups. You would think after 15 years, with all the insects I've had in my house over that time, that it would have happened. But I am jinxing myself. But it does surprise me. I spotted something moving on my plate after a few bites of toast. Nope. Oh my God. Oh, wow. It's like Kara's pond water, except with more living things in it, and it's solid. Oh my, what even is it? It's funny, if you pause it, you can't even see him anymore. Like, that's a guy, that's a guy, that's a guy, that's a guy, that's a guy. It's an isopod terrarium. I didn't make Kara get rid of the pond water. Her old pond water is gross. She got new pond water, okay? Kara can't resist the pond water. Don't you guys just love this, by the way? Can I go on a tangent here? Nutrition facts. 408 servings per container. Calories, 0. Thanks for the helpful calorie facts, guys. You know, if you take the limit as serving size approaches 0, the calories per serving is also 0. It's great. It's not 0 calories because it's spices. It's 0 calories because they're pulling some crapola with 408 servings per container. This is not 0 calories. It has insects in it. Those are worth more calories, all right? Anyway, look at him crawl around a little bit more. Good Lord. Extra protein. Dude, you notice it's crazy? Went to this launch event for Grounded 2. And I was saying this. I didn't say this in like something that made it Captain Sparkles 2. I think it was just at the start of the stream. Maybe, possibly. But they were serving straight up insects. I thought they were just using, fun names to keep in the theme of Grounded 2, but it was actually going to be like chicken leg and not frog legs. And it was like, oh, you can put grasshoppers as a little garnish on top of your thing. And I was like, oh, but what is it? And they're like, it's grasshoppers. I was like, what do you mean it's grasshoppers? Like, it's actually grasshoppers? They're like, yeah, it's grasshoppers. I'm like, wait, what? And they're like, you can have ants on your quesadilla. And I'm like, but it's not actually ants, right? No, they're like, no, it's ants because it's grounded. I'm like, I didn't think you were actually fully embracing it to that extent, but okay, fair enough. No, I didn't eat the grasshoppers. Sorry, guys. My favorite water bottle was not dishwasher safe. It used to be a gallon. You've also just probably like coated a bunch of other things in your dishwasher with some plastic, maybe. I don't know, but hey, keep on chugging. You're gonna feel a little less awesome by the time you finish it because it will have held less water. But you know what it looks like? It looks more like a dumbbell now. So it's like fitting with the exercise theme of things. Main stage of Tomorrowland is on fire. I did see this on Twitter. I know that Tucker Jericho, big music man, I think he was there, and he tweeted, he was like, what the frick are they going to do? The whole main stage is on fire. And then I guess they put on the show anyway. I think it was with a much, less extravagant main stage setup than they usually have, but they did keep the festival going on. Yeah, while it was on fire. They made sure to like keep adding fuel to the fire so that it would just keep going the entirety of the weekend, of which I think Tomorrowland might have 2 weekends potentially. And yeah, so they just like, that would actually be a pretty epic background, wouldn't it? Other than the part where you could probably, from the place that this photo was taken, feel the heat of the fire. So, having the performance right there, you'd probably be literally melting. But other than that, it would be a pretty cool backdrop outside of the smoke inhalation problem to go with it and all that. Bazinga. This went a lot better. Oh my God, are we about to have a freaking TwitchCon incident here? This is about to be a freaking TwitchCon incident, I swear to God. Yep. Exactly that. That hurt. Why do they not give signs? Like, they're just asking for a lawsuit. Like, it's incredibly stupid. If they don't have signs all over there that just somehow are not within frame here, they are so asking for such a massive lawsuit. Also, what even is that? Are those supposed to be little plastic hot dogs? supposed to be the gift where the lady gets like showered in hot dogs or whatever. But you gotta warn people, like, it looks like a foam pit, except it's just, it ends. Well, she's probably getting a payout. I hope that she wasn't super duper injured, but like, hey, at least she didn't dive in head first or something and break her neck, or butt first and break her back, which has actually happened. I lost my sense of smell after a nose operation, so I couldn't tell the chicken was spoiled. 3 a.m., emergency service all by myself. Hey, this is like me when I got my appendix removed with the IV. And that's actually, you know what? That's where the IV got moved to after they fricked it up in my left elbow. It got moved to my right forearm, and that's when it was actually, it worked. And I wasn't getting fricked up by it. I'm sure it was a better placed IV, and it probably worked on the first try. I just have weird veins whenever I'm under stress at a hospital and I haven't consumed fluids in a while. Just fricks me up, man. Yeah. So the chicken was spoiled and you couldn't smell it? I feel like that's more of a look kind of thing. I don't know if I've ever smelled chicken to know if it was spoiled, but also maybe I've just never smelled spoiled chicken. But I would think it would look kind of moldy or something. Also, it'd take a while, I bet. It just, like, did this happen after one bite? Because after one bite, I feel like you wouldn't get, like, it's something that would taste off. Man just, like, downed a full-on entire spoiled chicken. It was like, this is fine. Huh. Unless he means undercooked, but he says spoiled. That's not undercooked. Undercooked still, though, you'd notice usually in the texture would be off. So, yeah, write the dates, I guess, or something like that. Anyway, I guess smell and taste do kind of go hand in hand a bit. Concrete overflowed out of the toilet? This might be the worst thing I've ever seen. What? Oh no, it's the tiramisu. I get that reference. Dude. What do you do? Like, no, because that's like they're doing a big foundation pour or injecting concrete into some foundation, and they broke a main line, and the concrete went, like, this is a disaster. This is actually like a complete, utter, multi-million-dollar disaster that has occurred here. If this wasn't just some idiot poured concrete down their, like, starting at their toilet and put it down the toilet, like, if it came up, if the concrete came up, everything is beyond fricked. Like, what do you mean you don't know? No, this is literally, like, this is a multi-million-dollar disaster. The main sewer line at the street is probably full of hardened concrete. Like, this is beyond fricked. What in the... oh my God. I mean, the best case scenario is that it's confined to this one property. It's a single family home, small, confined to the one property. If it's like a bigger project and it went into the main in the street and flowed into everybody's houses, like, bro, the contractor here they have pre-declared bankruptcy, changed their name, flown to a different country, and started a new operation that, like, they're gone, bro. The street has to be jackhammered. They got to jackhammer the street. They got to replace the lines in the street. They got to jackhammer the sidewalks into people's yards, their houses. All the pipes in the houses need to go. I mean, that's insane. Oh my God. Bro, I gotta see the comments. Like, this is actually one of the craziest things I've ever seen. If it is concrete contractor unknowingly broke the sewer line when digging for a retaining wall. The pumper came and literally pumped the entire sewer line full of concrete until it overflowed out of the toilet. If it's confined to the one house, then maybe it's not a multi-million-dollar disaster, but the entire house's plumbing needs redone. Like a whole house has to be ripped apart. Good Lord, dude. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. And you have to hope that was like not the line that goes to the street. Because if there's a line that goes to the street, then the reason why it overflowed to the toilet is because it solidified going downhill. And that's why it backed up. So it went to the street. I couldn't get my passport done today because of my bizarre fingerprints. Is that like a well that sucks? It feels like a thing where you could be like, yo, I couldn't even get my passport because my fingertips are freaking crazy. It's kind of weird, though. Like, I definitely have very, very defined looking, fingerprint patterns, whereas it looks like your finger is the ground when there hasn't been rainfall in the desert for like a couple years or something. But, I mean, if anything, that would make your fingerprint even more unique, though, wouldn't it? I don't see the problem in terms of like getting it for a passport. Suspected someone was stealing, so I put a two 20s and a $100 in my wallet along with these singles. Then my girlfriend stayed over. So I put a two 20s and a 100 in my wallet along with these singles. I mean, nice feat. Also, this is not a very slick crime. If you are like the only person who is going over to somebody's house and you steal from their wallets, it's not like they're not going to notice. I just, it seems very short-sighted. She's going to be like, oh, no, clearly somebody's breaking into our house overnight, repeatedly, with no signs of forced entry. And it's crazy that this keeps happening, and they just know exactly where your wallet is, and that's all they steal, nothing else. So, you should, I hope this is now ex-girlfriend, because that's crazy. Neighbor just shot my house. I moved in 2 weeks ago. Is that in your shower? Is that in your sink? Like, if you were taking a shower, you would have been shot? Good thing you weren't taking a shower, I guess. So, if you bought your house, that really does suck. You know, one of the things that they ask you in like disclosures for when you're selling your house is, have you ever had any problems with your neighbors? And now there is internet-based evidence that if they don't disclose, could be dug up by an attorney when the next person who buys this house gets shot at by their neighbor if you don't disclose it. So you kind of have to disclose when you're selling that your neighbor has shot your house. And that might be a red flag for the person who's about to buy it. Yeah. Well, that's a bummer. How do you just like have that conversation with your neighbor after the fact? Like, hey, you shot my house, and the neighbor's like, oh, sorry, I'll make sure I don't do that again. That's my bad. I was just cleaning the thing, and you know, the trigger, it slipped, happens every now and again. You know, I forgot to unload it and all that. So, my bad, but it'll be fine in the future. Me and my wife tried to do a romantic pose. Didn't see till later. I mean, it was just a few pins got knocked through that just probably, just accidental. I'm wondering how did those pins get knocked through? Like, her hand is there, but what is there? It's a very interesting little shape around that area. But right, definitely, it's still romantic. It's just not the type of romantic you were necessarily going for. Also, I'm just thinking, like, this is at a festival or a theme park or something. This is going to be a classic Jardonk moment, but, like, how many people have, like, pushed their bodies into these pins? I don't want my full body to just come in contact with the plastic things that everybody else just pushed their face into. I don't want to do that. It's so dirty, bro. It's so dirty. Made a timeline of how bad the last 5 years have been. This is just going to be depressing, I feel like. 2019 to 2025. I don't really know how to comment on this because it's just like the list of depressing stuff. I'm sorry this happened to you, but it's like, it reminds me of the thing that Technoblade once said about me when I encounter him in, like, Hunger Games and stuff. How I just got super depressed that I was, like, gonna die, and then he's like, I can't use this footage. So this is like the role reversal. Just found out my boyfriend of 9 years has been replacing my Adderall with sugar. But why, though? That sounds really illegal to tamper with somebody's medicine. But also, why? I don't understand. Why would you do that? Oh, has he been stealing it to sell? Oh my God. I didn't even think about it that way. Oh, that's crazy. My initial thought was, like, maybe he is super opposed to some, I don't know, he's like, I don't believe in medicine, so I can't have you taking this, which is still super fricked up and illegal, but I didn't even think of selling. Okay. Hey, well, you know what? You need a new boyfriend. This guy needs a new girlfriend. You should talk to each other about your terrible experiences with your prior relationships. You'll have so much in common, and we're matchmaking. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for watching the last month of Well, That Sucks. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.